Today, our lesson is on the rock cycle. We're going to use our bodies to help us remember the process of how a rock becomes another rock. First, let's review the three main types of rocks. Igneous is a type of rock that forms from molten or melted rock that cools, hardens, and then crystallizes. Some examples are pumice, basalt, and granite. The next rock is a metamorphic rock. These are rocks that form from existing rocks because of changes caused by heat, pressure, or chemicals. Some examples of metamorphic rocks are marble, slate, and quartzite. Finally, we have sedimentary rock. This is a type of rock formed when layers of sediments become compacted or pressed together and harden, and then they're cemented into a rock. Some examples are limestone, sandstone, and shale. Here is a picture of the rock cycle. The rock cycle is a continuous series of changes that rocks undergo. This is over a long period of time. You can pause the video and focus a little closer if you want to, and then hit play when you like to go on. But if you'll notice, all rocks that go under weathering and erosion and turn into sediments are then compacted and turned into sedimentary rock. You'll also notice that in order for a rock to become a metamorphic rock, it has to undergo extreme heat and pressure. And then finally, when looking at the igneous rock, in order for that to happen, the rocks have to be melted and then cooled to become the igneous rock. So let's review one rock at a time. A rock that undergoes extreme heat and pressure will become a metamorphic rock. So, a sedimentary rock or an igneous rock plus extreme heat and pressure equals a metamorphic rock. So we're going to act out how rocks become metamorphic. And metamorphic rocks will be burpees. So if a rock becomes metamorphic, it has to undergo heat and pressure. We will simulate that. Think of heat and pressure of this activity to remember how rocks become metamorphic. Here's an example picture of how to do a burpee. I want you to pause the video and do 5. Your body will go under extreme heat and pressure. Hit play when you're ready to move on. Now that you've acted out your metamorphic rock, let's work on our igneous rock. A rock that undergoes melting into magma and then cools will become an igneous rock. So, taking either one of the types of rocks that are left and adding a high melting point and then cooling, you will get an igneous rock. So let's act out how rocks become igneous. Igneous rocks will be simulated by melting and then holding a plank position. Because if a rock becomes igneous, it has to undergo a melting into magma and then a cooling to harden. We will simulate that by pretending to melt and then hold a plank position as we cool and harden. Think of melting and cooling when acting this out. So, as you're standing, pretend to melt to the floor and then get in a plank position and hold for a count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next, we're going to work on a sedimentary rock, a rock that undergoes weathering and erosion and then compacts and cements over time will become a sedimentary rock. So if you're an igneous rock or a metamorphic rock and you add the weathering and erosion and then you are compacted and cemented together, you are going to become a sedimentary rock. So let's act out how rocks become sedimentary. Sedimentary rocks will be stomping and then holding a squat position. Because if a rock becomes sedimentary, it has to undergo weathering and erosion and then settle into layers. So we will simulate that by stomping to create weathering and erosion and then do a squat and hold it for a count of 3 to show settling in the layers. So think of compacting and cementing of weathered rocks to become sedimentary when acting this out. So Let's stomp for a count of 5 and hold a squat for a count of 3. Ready? Stomp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, squat and hold for 1, 2, 3. Let's do that again. Stomp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And squat and hold it for 1, 2, 3. Last one. Stomp for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now squat and hold it for a count of 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let's see what you remember. I'm going to put up a rock and then tell you what process it undergoes. And then I want you to act out the rock that it becomes. Ready? Let's go! This rock is marble, a metamorphic rock. If it undergoes a melting and cooling process, what rock will it become? You're going to act it out. So, as a reminder, if you believe that after melting and cooling a rock becomes metamorphic, you're going to do burpees. If you believe it's going to become sedimentary, you're going to stomp and then hold a squat. And if you think it's going to be igneous, you are going to melt and then hold a plank. So, I want you to pause the video, act it out, and then hit play to see if you are correct. The answer is igneous, so you should have melted and held a plank. Let's move on. Okay, let's look at this rock. It's a pumice stone, which is an igneous rock. If it undergoes extreme heat and pressure, what rock will it become? Will it become metamorphic? Will it become sedimentary? Or will it become igneous? I want you to choose the exercise. I want you to pause the video, do the exercise, and hit play to see if you are correct. Extreme heat and pressure creates metamorphic rock, so you should have done burpees. Let's move on. This rock is sandstone, a sedimentary rock. If it undergoes extreme heat and pressure, what type of rock will it become? I want you to act it out. Is it metamorphic? Is it sedimentary? Or is it igneous? Pause the video, act it out, and hit play to see if you are correct. Extreme heat and pressure creates metamorphic rock. You should have done burpees again. Okay, this rock is quartzite. It's a metamorphic rock. If it undergoes weathering and then compacting and cementing over time, what type of rock will it become? Metamorphic, sedimentary, or igneous? Pause the video, do the exercise, and hit play when you're ready to see the answer. This becomes sedimentary. Rocks that undergo weathering and then compacting over time become sedimentary rocks. So you should have stomped and then held your squat. This will be our last one. This rock is shale, which is a sedimentary rock. If it undergoes a melting and cooling process, what type of rock will it become? I want you to act it out. Is it metamorphic, sedimentary, or igneous? Whichever one you think it turns into after undergoing a melting and cooling process, act it out. Pause the video, do the exercise, and hit play when you're ready. Melting and cooling processes lead to igneous rocks, so you should have melted and held a plank. Now, if you have time, let's see if a family member or a friend can call out one of the 3 types of rocks and you act out how it became that rock. Remember, a sedimentary rock is formed by weathering and erosion, followed by compacting and cementing, often in layers, and that's represented by stomping and doing your squat. If a metamorphic rock is chosen, it's formed by extreme heat and pressure, which means you do burpees. And finally, if someone tells you igneous rock, you need to melt and hold a plank hold to represent melting and cooling. Thank you for participating in this rock cycle lesson. Using actions to remember concepts can help many people remember the concepts better. Have a fantastic day.